Uja, Ubenefer. Good rising, great awakenings. So making sure you can hear me okay. Check 1, 2. Forgot my instruments. All right. Ubenefer. Grand rising and great awakenings. All right. So today is April 21st. And today, according to the Neterian calendar of holy days, is the day for the festival of Uadjit. And Uadjit is known as Uadjit, and Uadjit. And for a long time, I thought it was Utkat because CH is usually pronounced as a K. And it wasn't until today that I realized it's the same as Ujet. Uchit, Ujet, Ujat, Wajet. And then I also learned in the Greek tradition, she's known as Buto. And I've seen that word before, but I didn't know about the affiliation with Uadjit. So I've seen many versions of the Egyptian calendar of holy days. I'm using this one put out by Temple of Amun. And according to this calendar, it's the year 2022, started on January 1st, but the Kemetic calendar is 38,788, and this will increase by 1 year in July in alignment with the Sirius rising of Sirius. That festival starts on July 13th with the birth of Ra, and then goes through the different neters until we have the rising of Sirius. So that's going to be a very busy week. Strength. I'm working on calling it a strength or strong rather than weak. So we've got the calendar has the holy days, it has the moons, solstices, equinoxes, and some other holidays. And this is the last holy day for the month of April. Let's see, the next one is not until April 14th. So we may have another special edition presentation between now and then. And you can get this calendar at Temple of Amun. And I always mention the other calendar I've been using. This is the calendar for the Temple of the Earth Center, which is a Dogon Mali calendar based on the star Sirius. And it has the traditional 10-day strengths in each month. There's 12 of those. Plus the 13th month is the birth of Nut, has the birth, well, not the birth of Nut, Nut giving birth, 5 days. And the other calendar that I mentioned, the Neterian Holy Day calendar, is similar. It has the 12 months and then that one particular week of 7 days. And that's how most indigenous calendars are, because the lunar calendar has 13 moons. So why does the solar calendar only have 12 suns if the moon orbits the sun? Which is why we have the 13-month Kemetic sidereal astrology system known as horoscopes. And my name is Arit Tachia Amet. You may know me as Tachia Amet. Been a reggae singer for several decades now, and Kemetic devotion singer for about 10 years now, 1 decade. And the offerings today are published by the Temple of Neter, Temple of Aset Sema Institute, with the spiritual preceptors Seba Man Seba Jah. However, the reflections presented in these broadcasts are solely the reflections of the chantress, the artist, and do not necessarily reflect the Temple of Neter spiritual preceptors. This is being brought to you by Asmataji Temple of Divine Light Healing and Sweet Sounds and the Light Being Wellness Center. So without further ado, let's move on to the program. I did create a web page for today, and it is not working right now. So let me try one more time, because I had the whole program on there. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. Ooh. So I just need a minute here. See if I can get this page back up, because I had a lot of good stuff there. Okay, well, we're going to start with the opening prayers, because I know this is going to work out. Dashboard. Okay, something's happening. This is really slow. All right, so we're going to start with the opening prayer from the Temple of Neter prayer book. Okay, well, my draft is still there, so I can look at it. I don't know if you can look at it. I'll read the translation. Divine offering. Offering is given to the Supreme Divinity and to Anpu, Preparer of the Traveler, and Webwat, Opener of the Ways, Lord of the Sacred Land. This spoken offering is 1,000 beef complete maleness and 1,000 geese complete femaleness. This causes a divine to make one true of speech, an enlightened being. Wow. There we go. Okay. It's working. I don't know if you were with me for the broadcast the other day about the creation and the realization I had every time I'm trying to create, that APEP comes up and, tries to prevent it from happening, which is why we start with these opening prayers to Anpu. Okay, I'm just going to be patient. O Tepti Nesu Netera Anpu Wepwat Neptajase Perkeru Kakaped Sineter Adi Makeru O Tepti Nesu Netera Anpu Wepwat Neptajase Perkeru Kakaped Sineter Adi Makeru O Tepti Nesu Netera Anpu Wepwat Neptajase Perkeru Kakaped Sineter Adi Makeru O Tepti Nesu Netera Anpu Wepwat Neptajase Perkeru Kakaped Sineter Adi Makeru. Right, I already read the offering. And remember, when we offer the 1,000 beef maleness, we're offering our lower nature, our physicality, our materialism, and 1,000 geese femaleness represents our mindset when we're in, multitask, confusion, monkey brain, China brain, ego brain, we're offering up those forces for purification dispensation. Next, we have the prayer to Anpu, also found in the devotional prayer book. Now let me push this one. Opener of the Ways. And that you can find online on different social media music platforms. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Remove obstacles in my success in my spiritual practice. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Lead souls through the narrow pathway to know the difference between real and unreal. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Matching between heaven and hell. Face black as night, golden as the day. You could watch her by night as by day. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. May Anpu make my thighs firm, so that I may stand upon them. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. I wash myself in the waters where Anpu washed himself, where he was the officer of embalmer and bandager. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. My lips are the lips of Anpu. 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 A tap. All right. Wonderful. So that opened the way. The webpage is now live, so I will be able to share that link. I want to follow it on YouTube. And it is thechia.com/Uadjit. Yeah, that prayer to Anpu, it never fails. It always opens the way. It's a wonderful thing. Okay. Post. All right, now we're going to move on to the 4 great truths of Chaitanya Netter. And this time I'm going to offer them first and then read the translation. All right, so for those of you that are watching on TikTok, it's sending me a reminder to thank you for tuning in, of course. And if you could tap your screen, that would send hearts and send love through the universe, and more people would find out about the broadcast. So this is, let's see, how do they, like I said, I got it from Dr. Ashby Sebama. It's a prayer that's offered in the daily ritual. And where is it? Okay, it doesn't really say what scripture it's from. Here we go. Panitaru nebajedim neteru. On the odds we how you said say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Adishani rekabim makeru. Panitaru nebajedim neteru. On the odds we how you said say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Adishani rekabim makeru. Panitaru nebajedim neteru. On the odds we how you said say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Adishani Rekabe Makeru. Neteru, never shed Neteru. On the odds, we sell you said, say, come in. Say what you say, not food, say you said. Adishani Rekabe Makeru. All right, Nefer. Yes, that is a great way to start anything. Reciting the 4 great truths and the translation. And I'm also going to recite the gloss. The Neter, the Supreme Being, is one and alone, and is never manifesting everywhere and in all things in the form of gods and goddesses. Commentary. Never means all-encompassing divinity, the all-inclusive, all-embracing spirit, which pervades all, and who is the ultimate essence of all. This first truth unifies all the expressions of Kemetan religion. Number 2. Lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality, and these fetters lead to ignorance of the divine. When a human being acts in ways that contradict the natural order of nature, negative qualities of the mind will develop within that person's personality. These are the afflictions of Set. Set is the Neteru of egoism and selfishness. The afflictions of Set include anger, hatred, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, gluttony, dishonesty, hypocrisy, also low self-esteem, overly shy, panic attacks, doubts, fears, limiting beliefs, procrastination, distractions. So to be free from the fetters of Set, one must be free from the afflictions of Set. Number 3, devotion to the divine leads to freedom from the fetters of Set. To be liberated, Nafu, which is freedom to breathe, and the hieroglyph is a sail on a boat. From the afflictions of Set, one must be devoted to the divine. Being devoted to the divine means living by Ma'at. Ma'at is a way of life that is purifying to the heart and beneficial for society as it promotes virtue and order. Living by Ma'at means practicing Shedi spiritual practices and disciplines. Uwashu means devotion, and the classic pose of adoring the divine is called Dua. It's when you have your hands like this. Standing or sitting with upraised hands facing outwards towards the image of the divinity. And number 4, Arishedi Rek Abin Makadu. The practice of the Shedi disciplines leads to knowing oneself as a divine. This is called being true of speech. Doing Shedi means to study profoundly, to penetrate the mysteries Shatout, and discover the nature of the divine. There have been several practices designed by the sages of ancient Kemet to facilitate the process of self-knowledge. These are the religious Shatout traditions and the Sema Smai Tawi yogic disciplines related to them that augment the spiritual practices. All of the traditions relate the teachings of the sages by means of myths related to particular gods or goddesses. It is understood that all of these Neteru are related like brothers and sisters, having all emanated from the same source, the same supremely divine parent, who is neither male nor female, but encompasses the totality of the two. Having some trouble with this one. There we go. Okay, so this next Hekau is one of the opening chants, and it combines 3 deities in one. Nebuchadnezzar, who was described in the 4 great truths, the all-embracing, all-encompassing spirit, which pervades all and is the essence of all. And Nebuchadnezzar thought creation into existence, or breathed creation into existence. And the first thing, that cosmic force that was created, is Chakra, which is number 2. Chakra is the creator of the gods and goddesses. Chakra is the one that pushes the sun up each day. It's a scarab beetle that pushes up the sun every day. And then Kepra is the one that established or created creation. And Kepra, Ra, and Temu Ra are three forms of Ra. Kepra in the beginning of the day, in the beginning of creation. Ra is the creation in its fullness at the middle of the day. And then Temu Ra, or Ra Tem, is to the west, the setting, the sun, the end of the day. And then Nebuchadnezzar came forth in a human form as the god Asar, who represents the soul. Om Nebuchadnezzar, capital sorrow. 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 Continuing on with the musical offerings, we have another one. This one is mostly about Kepra, Duora Kept. And I will read the translation first. Another opening prayer from this wonderful prayer book. Like I said, I don't know if they're still publishing them, but if you sign up for their mailing list, they'll mail it to you every day. I suppose I might have deleted them. I don't know. I'll check and see if I still have a copy, and then I'll share that link. I still have an online copy. I know I went through and cleared out a bunch of my emails, so I may have deleted it. I'm going to write a note. Well, I don't seem to have a post-it note. There's an old one. Okay. See if I can find the prayer book. So here is the translation. And this is the opening prayer A from the ancient Kemetic book of Coming Forth by Day. And this is one of the prayers that we're instructed to recite before reading from the Pert Haru. Translation. Adorations to Ra when he rises in horizon eastern. Homage to Ra coming forth as Kepra. Kepra, creator of the gods and goddesses. Rising thee, shining thee, lighting up thy mother. Rising as Lord, king of the gods and goddesses. Your mother Nut does an act of worship to you with both arms. Manu, the western horizon, receives thee in peace, and Ma'at embraces thee at the double season perennially. And this melody is an adaptation of the ones we learned from Seba Ma and our beloved Uadjit. Dura kept to benem bima ketip den pe. Untitled ATM Chapter. Chakra Neterian. Kake Uben K Pesit Moke. Katiem Sutin Nataru. Iri Nek Mut Nut Adiem Iri Nini. Manu in the tap to my atata. Do what I can to believe in my kitchen pet. On the test, ATM Capita. Capita came on Neteru. Kake Uben K Pesit Mood Katiem Suten Nataru. Iri Net Mood Nut Adiem Iri Nini. Anu and my tap up to Uadjit. A cup of tea. The tea helps warm up my voice. I used to not be able to appreciate the raspy tone in my voice, and I went through a lot of changes to eliminate it, and I was forcing it so hard that I popped a rib. I popped a rib trying to sound like Mariah Carey and Shakira and all those singers, Christina Aguilera, Whitney. They, you know how they do all those incredible runs with their voice, and their voices are perfectly clear. And then I learned about how you can edit the voice in the studio, and I didn't know. But it took me popping a rib to really appreciate the raspy tone. And then when I would tell people about it, they would say, oh, well, that's what we love about your voice. It's raspy, and it like cuts through everything. So I warm up with hot tea or like ginger lime tea. I celebrate my raspy. I call it a raspberry tone. Okay, I forgot the translation. The next one. I'm not even going to say that I'm getting organized because it certainly doesn't seem like it, but I am getting organized. Here is the Book of the Dead, compiled by Seva Ma. And at the beginning, it has instructions to recite 2 prayers before reading from this text or any text. So I'm going to read the translation to the next one. We did the first one already, Uadjit. Adorations to the divine in the form of the moon, Asar. Asar symbolizes the moon. The moon is also represented by Jehuti, and in this temple, also the crescent moon, early new moon, is represented by Shesheta. But here is adorations to the divine in the form of the moon, Asar. Adorations, Asar, Unifer, divinity great, personality in the heart of Abdu, that's the city called the City of God, King of eternity, Lord of forever, traveling for eternities, in a form raised he, son primary of the body of Nut, engendered by Geb, Master Lord of the Uravet crown, exalted white crown, Prince of gods and goddesses and people. Okay. Almost ready. Asar, Unifer, Netra, Hair of Abdu, Sutin, Hain, hey baby, hey. Du asar ungefär natural. Du asar ungefär natural. Du asar MIF Sadep Inkat Newt Utet in Gap Arpat Nib Du asar ungefär natural. Du asar ungefär natural. Du asar uraretai heriti netaruam teg. Du asar ungefär natural. Du asar ungefär natural. Glory to asar. Ooh, never. Glory to asar. Ooh, never. Glory to asar. Ooh, never. Glory to asar. The great God with us. Do asar. So that is a variation of the version from Seva Ma, the Temple of Chateau Neter. And at the end, I include the praises of Uabratim or Asar. If there's any questions. Really appreciate your presence, everyone who's still here with me. So now we're going to move into some of the teachings about Uadjit from around the internet. So we're going to start with Wikipedia. Uadjit, ancient Egyptian, means the green one, known to the Greek world as Uto, Buto, and also known as Uadjit, Uadjit, and Ujo. Originally the ancient local goddess of the city Dep, and became part of the city known as Uadjit. And Uadjit was said to be the matron and protector of Lower Kemet, and upon unification with Upper Kemet, the joint protector and patron of all Kemet. The image of Uadjit with the sun disk is called the uraeus, and it was the emblem on the crown of the rulers of Lower Kemet. She was also the protector of kings and of women in childbirth. Uadjit was said to be the nurse of the infant god Heru. With the help of his mother Aset, they protected Heru from his treacherous uncle Set when they took refuge in the swamps of the Nile Delta. All right, let's go on to another source. Oh, let's see. Of course, Uadjit is, she represents the cobra. Sometimes she's represented as a cobra, or a woman with a cobra's head, a woman wearing the uraeus. Anything with a serpent is probably has a connection to Uadjit. And then we have, 421's 42. All right, and then next we have from EgyptianMyths.net, we're going to learn about the goddess Buto. There you go. All right. This is so interesting. This internet is just freezing up on me. Try from here. All right. Buto symbols cobra, the Uadjit, the red crown, and the cobra headdress worn by royalty. Buto was the cobra goddess whose original home and cult center was in the delta of the Nile at Uadjit. As such, she's routinely connected to the goddess of Upper Egypt, Nekabet. So that's the two goddesses, just like we have with Ma'ati, Aset, and Nebuhet. Together, they appeared in many pieces of art as symbols of the two lands, a united Egypt. And Dr. Ashby will point out that when you see that, that symbolizes the union of opposites, the unions of higher and lower consciousness, higher and lower nature. Similar to, like I said, Aset and Nebuhet, and also when you see symbols of Set with Heru. Buto did not just protect him, she was also an aggressive defender of the king. She was portrayed as the uraeus cobra first worn on the brow of Ra and later the pharaohs. Her hood is spread in a threatening position, and she is ready to spit poison on all the pharaoh's enemies. And that will be our thoughts, our fetters, our lower thoughts, our lower vibrations, just like when we have the spear where we are defeating our egoism. We use Buto or Uadjit to spit out poison on our negativity or burn them with her fiery glare. It is thought perhaps that her powers could be used against the pharaoh as well. Her bite may have been the deadly device used by Anpu at the appointed time of the pharaoh's death. Buddha was a personification of the sun's burning heat, and she was called the Lady of Heaven and the Queen of all the gods. So that would connect her to Isis, Aset, who is also known as the Lady of Heaven and the Queen of all the gods. She was closely associated with Heru the Elder, who was the protector god of Lower Kemet. She was also associated with Heru the Younger. She protected him from Set in the marshes of the Delta, etc., etc. Yeah, so they're basically saying how she's also Aset, shown carrying a papyrus stem around, which was a coiled cobra. And then last but not least, we are going to visit Egypt, Ancient Egypt Online.co.uk. And at the end, I have a presentation, which is like a summary of all this different aspects of Uadjit. There was a paragraph. Yeah, this is very interesting to me. I don't know if you recall, a few weeks ago, I was talking about a myth from the Yoruba tradition where I was kind of shocked to find out that Ogun assaulted his mother, Yemaya, and yet he was still venerated as a neter and as an ancestor, Orisha, etc. And that when I spoke to some advisors, they told me not to project human values onto the God values, onto the actions of our ancestors or the spirits. And so I was like, okay, you're right. And then I came across this paragraph. There was also a suggestion that Uadjit was very closely linked to the principles of Ma'at, justice or balance. Before being crowned as king, Geb attacked and raped his mother Tefnut. When he went to take his place as pharaoh and put the royal uraeus on his own forehead, the snake reared up and attacked the god and his followers. All of Geb's retinue died, and the god himself was badly injured. Clearly, his actions were against Ma'at, and Uadjit was not prepared to allow him to go unpunished. Let's see. Uadjit is often described as an aggressive deity, while her sister Nekabet was thought of as a more matronly protector. However, she also had a gentler side. Anyway, that stuck out to me because we know that the Yoruba traditions and other traditions in Africa are all really connected to this tradition that we know about from Kemet. But Kemet is not the only place in Africa or in the world that had this very ancient system. As one person says, they're just the ones who wrote it down. And so I was really upset with the Yoruba tradition because nothing happened to Ogun. He was still able to get married, and people come and make offerings to him. It's like nothing happened. But here we have this force of protection from the goddess. Geb didn't die or anything. I mean, he's still the earth, but he was held accountable for his actions. So that's just another example of why this tradition is so on, for me anyway, because we have the strength of the goddess. In other traditions, the goddess is not as powerful as she is in this tradition. All right, so now let's get back to some music. So since we've learned that Uadjit and Nekabet are different vibrations or frequencies of Aset and Neferhet, so I did not find any offerings to Uadjit in the Neterian. I only found some English, has been translated. So what I have for now is the speech of Aset, the speech of Neferhet, and some offerings for Ma'ati, who is the dual goddesses of Aset and Neferhet. Ucha, dua for being here. So let's start off with Aset. Offer it first and then read the translation. Meruja and As, I am insake. Unenake Nafu, if I can make it you. Insure Afuke, Pertim Temu, Second I am K, Haiti Afuke, Eddie and Aum, NK in the chair, give to you can care to Tabby K, Zaymakeru, K Musa too, Maneteru. Meruja and asked, Ayunim Sake, Unenake Nafu, if it can make it you. Insure Afuke, Partim Temu, Zekin IMK, Haiti Afuke, Eddie and Aum, NK in the chair, give to you care to Tabby K, Zaymakeru, K Umutsetu, Maneteru. 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 Translation. Speech of Goddess Aset. This translation is by Sebama. These words are spoken by Goddess Aset. I come to you in a role as your protector, I blow from me to you the liberating and rejuvenating air from the north, with fullness of consciousness which cleanses your nose to the nostrils for your body. This air comes in the form of the god Temu, who is in the north, which is the spirit essence of Ra, the source and sustenance of all life, and the successful completion of the spiritual journey. I have collected the pieces of your throat for you so you can breathe and live. I pieced your throat back together and cleared obstructions to the air from Temu that conveys the vital life force. So now you have the capacity to experience unobstructed vitality. Now you do not have internal obstructions to existing as a conscious living being. I have given to you the capacity to exist in the form of a God, and in your presence, I present to you your enemies which have fallen under your feet. So now you do not have external obstructions to existing in your divine form. By doing these things, I, the goddess of intuitional wisdom, the embodiment of wisdom, have caused for you to have a divine state in heaven, over which you have power and dominion, and all the gods and goddesses behold you. Uadjit. Now we have the speech of the Nebuchadnezzar. Neterian Sarani, Makeru Nebuchadnezzar, Pekarin Ahate, Sinasaraya, Imsalke, Hautepke, Tawike, Manaske, Akmakeru, Imzenu, Tjezane, Say Makeru, Heradi tu, Ezekake, and Patakake, Medute in the Sarani, Makeru Nebuchadnezzar, Pekarin Ahate, Sinasaraya, Imsauke, Hautepke, Tawike, Manaske, Akmakeru, Imzenu, Tjezahane, Zemakeru, Heraditu, Ekezeke, and Patakevke. Translation. These words are spoken by Asar Ani, the initiate. So at that point, you would insert your name. So these words are spoken for you and for me and for everyone. who is true of speech, spiritually victorious. Goddess Nebuchadnezzar, the goddess of physical existence, who presides over the house, the physical body, and who represents physicality and earthly vitality, and presides over the lower aspects of the mind, the body, its form, appearance, and the vitality aspects of the personality that are needed for supporting physical existence, says, I go around behind your head, my brother Asar. I come to you. I am protector of your body parts, and specifically your head. And then there's a note here. Tawi goes with verse 3, the two lands, upper and lower Kemet. But metaphysically, your higher self and lower self, every aspect of your being. In other words, that would be Uadjit and Nekabet, or Aset and Nebuchadnezzar. The two lands bow in homage as they behold and invoke thee, Asar, or you, which bestows spiritual victory on them. Nebuchadnezzar continues, I have bound thee and brought about spiritual wholeness through integration of thy personality. This is a rising up in consciousness. Remember, his parts were scattered across the world. And so she's describing putting the pieces of the soul back together after it's been devastated by egoism. Note, this can also be a reference to the mummy, which can be raised upright like the Jed, to cause spiritual victory over what Set had done to you. Your enemies are overthrown by the beneficent divinity Ptah, who is an aspect of Asar. Ptah assists with the opening of the mouth of the initiate, where the Sayu Set bandages the fetters of Set that prevents one's expansion in consciousness that are placed over the mouth. Remember, the mouth symbolizes consciousness, are removed. Thus, you have the capacity to experience expansion in consciousness that leads to spiritual victory. So no wonder that song is so beautiful and so lovingly adored by this chantress. Right. Now we move into the teachings of Shatau Neter, Temple of Aset, Say by Ma, and Sebajah. Egyptian Proverbs, page 116. I do believe this was their first book. Book of Egyptian Proverbs, page 116. So this is actually introduction to a breathing exercise. So we're going to do this breathing exercise. I'm going to describe it. This is, you've heard of the alternate nostril exercise, alternate nostril breathing exercise. Well, this is, where it's the Kemetic version. The opposing energy poles of the body, Uadjit and Nekabet, can be balanced by practicing a simple alternate nostril breathing exercise. This is accomplished as following. Using the right hand, bend the index finger and middle fingers towards the palm while leaving the thumb, fourth, and fifth pinky fingers extended. Using the thumb to close off the right nostril, breath inhalation through the left nostril. I don't know if you're familiar with this. I don't need to describe the whole thing because I'm going to demonstrate it. The ratio of inhalation, retention, exhalation should be 2-8-4. So you start inhaling for the count of 2, then you hold it for the count of 8, and then you exhale it for the count of 4. And you may repeat a mantra or heka while performing this exercise, etc., etc. This practice physical. Okay, then you go into your meditation and your yoga postures. The alternate breathing exercise is an excellent way to balance the body energies. The energies may also be balanced in a variety of other ways, such as controlling the emotions and remaining calm, engaging oneself in activities that are in harmony with one's consciousness, work, hobbies, job, recreation, and attending these concerts. All right, so let's try that for a few rounds. You take your hand, I'm going to use my right hand, and you pinch your nostrils, and you're going to open the one with your thumb, and inhale for 2 counts. Close it, hold it for 4 counts. And then open it with your left finger and exhale to 8 counts. And we're going to inhale through the left nostril, 2 counts. Hold it for 4. And exhale from the right nostril to 8 counts. Okay. So you do that several times. And he says work up to 15 minutes. That's just an example of balancing Uadjit and Nekabet. Right. Now we're going to move on to African Religions, Volume 4. The Assyrian Resurrection. I'm going to go to page 216. Okay. All right. So this reading, this passage is about the constellation of the Great Bear, Orion, and the star Sirius, and the star constellation of the Great Dog. And these are constellations that, they set and then they rise. They set and rise. And the Orion constellation has another name. Where is it in there? The Kapesh. And it's used to open the mouth of the initiate, to open the consciousness. And then we have some other stars that go around the pole star, but they never set. And those are called Seba'er. So here's a reading a little bit about that. No, I'm not going to read the whole thing. This teaching is also reflected in the zodiac inscription from the temple of Heteru at Dendera, and then the opening of the mouth ceremony, where a symbol of the imperishable stars, the Kapash, is carried by the priest. This mystical intent is to open the mind through mystical wisdom and disciplines, so as to render it Uadjit, universal and infinite, all-encompassing, unlimited, and beyond the fluctuations of egoism and mortal consciousness. Used in the Hetep offering table, the leg symbolizes the male gender, the goose symbolizes the female gender. This is what we offered at the beginning. Thus, the initiate offers duality in the form of sex awareness to the divinity in exchange for the realization of non-duality, or the transcendence of gender dual consciousness altogether, i.e., the imperishable or an eternal realization of the higher self. Okay, I think. Okay. Like I said, I wasn't able to find these in the Neterian, but I have them in English, so I'm just going to sing them while I'm reciting them. Oh, initiate, I have come in search of you, for I am Heru. I have struck your mouth for you, for I am your beloved son. I have split open your mouth for you. I have split open your eyes for you with the shapesh of the eye of Heru. I have split open your mouth for you I have split open your eyes for you with the Uadjit of Uadjit, with the Uadjit of iron. Never. That's going to be a great song someday. All right. So when we say the Eye of Heru, remember we're talking about Uadjit. Uadjit, Nekabet, the Eye of Ra, the Eye of Heru, the Eye of Heteru, the Eye of Jehuti. Opening the mouth, all referring to opening and awakening to higher consciousness. Oh, okay. I just read that and I just summarized that. I don't need to read that. That's from page 216 of the African Religions, Volume 4, Assyrian Theology. How we doing on time there? All right. And then we're going to move on to the Pert and Heru. And in this passage, we're going to hear about how Uadjit assisted with the birth of Heru. Oh, I had a picture I wanted to show you. And I keep on one of my altars and I just forgot to gather it. So this is the illustration along with the reading right now. And Uadjit is the goddess on this side. Oh wait, I'm looking at it backwards. This is Uadjit here. And this is Nekabet. I'll hold it up while I'm reading. So I'm going to go to page 90. Okay, so I don't have an illustration of the Uadjit, do I? Just have one online. Oh wait, I'm sure you've seen it before. It's the winged sun disk. So, come on. So I can find a picture of it. 94. Usually I see it all the time. Now I don't see it. Illustrations. I don't have it right now. Let's have a picture of it. Okay. Well, you've seen it before. It's the winged sun disk. The winged serpent is also known as Uadjit, which is the great Uadjit or Behedeti. The winged sun disk composed of two serpents, Aset and Nebuchadnezzar, a sun disk symbolizing Ra, manifesting the dual principles of Uadjit, Aset, and Nebuchadnezzar, and the wings, Heru. This is an important symbol of Heru, meaning all-encompassing divinity. And everything else here. Heru is the rebirth of the spirit. The rebirth is not a physical birth from the womb, but a rebirth of this higher spiritual aspiration in the mind of the desire, as a desire for enlightenment, symbolizing the throne of upper and lower Kemet, etc., etc., the union and harmonization of spirit and matter, the renewed life of Asar. And page 185. Thank you. Oh, cool. Sarah is my spirit guide. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I'm glad you found me. Or this. It's not me. I'm just the messenger. Okay, page 185. Just the temple musician. Verse 41. Verse 43 to 44. Okay. Verse 43 to 44. Oh, wait. Page. Now I'm a little confused. Okay. All right. So this is just a mention of Uadjit from verse 43 of the Purdah Maru. Let's see. The two sisters. Why don't have it? Okay. The two sisters have given to me sweet things. I create what is in the city of Canaan. And in the city of Anu, all the gods and goddesses fear me greatly. Verily, terrified of me is every god and goddess, because whoever curses me receives arrows. I live as I will to live. I am Uadjit, mistress of the fires, for those coming my way with evil intent. Who then is this being spoken about? Uadjit, Uadjit, Uadjit. That was never. Okay, I'm just a little confused here, but anyway. All right, now we're going to move on to gloss 22. Gloss for verse 22 on page 190 and 192. Oh, thank you. I love that you're here and that you're benefiting from it. Okay, so what do you say about this? 190, 192. Okay. All right, so this is just a little bit of a discourse by Say Ma. Oh, no, I think we already read this. Yeah. The opening of the mouth ceremony. Yep, already read that one. That's verse 25. Where am I? Oh, 192. Yeah, sometimes in his introductions, he has content repeated because he wants to make sure that you get it no matter which book you are reading. All right. So obviously, since it's the serpent goddesses, we're dealing with the serpent power, which in the Hindu tradition is Kundalini. And this tradition It's Sekhem, the energy that flows up and down the spinal column through the Cephalic Bhara, through the chakras, is known as Sekhem. So we have here the movement of the serpent power, Arat, which is another word for serpent, serpent goddess, opens up the mind like a drain opener, unclogs a drain pipe. In the last line of this verse, the initiate proclaims that I am Uadjit. Here, once more, the scripture shows the tantric concept of transcending gender as the initiate affirms his or her identity with the female cobra goddess of the serpent power or kundalini energy. 192. We're going to go to page 256. We're getting through it. I don't know if I'm going to do all of it. Let's see what's on page 256. I'm going to get back to the music. It's helped me know more about Uadjit. I've always heard the name, tossed around, but because of this research for this presentation, I learned a lot. Okay. So this is from this is the gloss for chapter 25, verses 1 through 3. All right, so the two goddesses within me refers to the two serpent goddesses, Uadjit and Nekabet. They are forms of Aset and Nebuchadnezzar, presiding over the serpent power life force and residing in the subtle spine in the form of the two serpents, the dual nature. Also, the DNA, meaning that the energy is serpentine-like winding. When harmonized, like we did with that brief breathing exercise experience, which you could do. It was difficult to do while I was counting. It was confusing, but if you can just find alternate nostril breathing, you know that you are harmonizing Uadjit and Nekabet. When harmonized and cultivated, the energy uncoils. The goddesses transform themselves into the straight pillar Asar, the light of the spirit, eliminating all darkness in the personality as the upper psycho-spiritual consciousness centers open up. Okay, that goes on about the moon. Let me go to page 276, chapter 5. I guess I'll just run over a little bit. I'm not going to worry about the clock right now. Okay, I didn't need that. Uh, 276. I don't know. Didn't need that one. 288. That's the one I needed. Good. All right. So this is verses 43 through 47 from chapter 27. I am going forth by day in the presence of a song as a possessor of light. The two snakes have opened the door for me so that I may come back to behold the Uadjit eye. The water is overturned on the back of the Banu and the two lady confederates. Herdu is given the restored Uadjit eye, so that he may illuminate at dawn. My name is his name. There is not greatness above me. In my aspect as a god lion. Hey, it just came to me. I'm going to combine these three passages and make them into one song for Uadjit. All right, we're getting close to the end. All right, page 291. And I thank you for being here. I'm getting energy from your presence as well. 291. All right, so this is from the gloss for verse 39 to 48. Just going to have a little passage from here. They're talking about the what is it? So I'm not going to read the whole introduction part. They're talking about the aspect or the time when the initiate is being led by Anpu through the netherworld to the abode of the divine self, and the experience that you have when you come into contact with your higher self or the vision of the cosmic force, and you like have this fire and the true form of God. This is from the Hindu. You are devouring all the worlds by your blazing mouths, and you are licking them up, O Vishnu. Terrible effulgence is scorching the entire world with its fierce flames. This is what I wanted to share with you. This monogamous view occurs when the initiate neutralizes the opposites within him or herself. This means that the two serpents, the ladies, a metaphor of the two serpents of the caduceus, have joined and become one, thereby allowing the non-dual vision of the Supreme Self, the restored Uadjit eye. There is no higher reality or divinity than this, and therefore, having attained this realization, all forms of worship to the gods and goddesses are in reality worship of the initiate. My name is Mansho in Aries. No, in Aries. Well, it's good to meet you. So they're saying that and we've talked about this before, the royal personality, when we make offerings to all these divinities and Neterus and ancestors, we're actually making offerings to ourselves, because these cosmic forces are within us. And we're just reminding ourselves of this because we forget who we are. Right now, Purdy Maru, chapter 17, Egyptian Yoga. Purdy Maru, chapter 17, Egyptian Yoga, African Religion, volume 2. There we go. Oh, I guess I put it back for some reason. Volume 2. So that's another one of these wonderful books where he breaks down all the scriptures for us. Well, that's not the right book. Okay. Oh, Religion Volume 2. That's this one. Okay. That was this one here. All right. So this has an image of the goddess Mehert. And it's just mentioned in the next offering. Behold Ra, who was born yesterday, from the buttocks of the goddess Mehert. In the answer to the question, what is this? It is explained. It is the watery abyss of heaven, or as others say, it is the image of the eye of Ra in the morning at his daily birth. Mehert is the eye of Ra, Uadjit. Behold Ra, who was born yesterday, from the buttocks of the goddess Mehert. In the answer to the question, what then is this? It is explained. It is the watery abyss of heaven, or as others say, it is the image of the eye of Ra in the morning at his daily birth. Mehert is the eye of Ra, God. Uadjit, Mehert, the eye of Ra. Uadjit, Mehert. Every part of ourselves is connected to a Neter. We are divine. We are the tears of eyes within us. That's true. That's true. And I have a song about that. We are the children of Ra. We were created. There's a little bit coming up about this, just if you stay tuned to the end. In one tradition, Ra knew. Well, I'm not going to sing the whole song, but it's on Bandcamp and Spotify. But Ra knew we would forget him, so this made him cry, and we were born from his tears of sadness. And when we remember Ra, he cries tears of gladness. So yes, that's what they say. Alrighty, now we're going to move to the Tree of Life book. We're going to go a little over this scheduled time, but we're not penalized, so it's okay. Better than rushing. So from the Tree of Life, there's some photographs, and I have it digital, so I can't show it to you, of the sun disk that's inscribed over all the entrances of the doors for our protection. And it's a sun disk encircled by a serpent. So we're going to have a few readings on this right now. Page 7. Page 7. Uh-oh, not on page 7. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Page 7. Must have been 70. No. Whoa. That took me too far. 70. Oh, here we go. Okay. No. Here we go again. It's not page 70. What page is it? Okay. There goes the cursor again, acting crazy. Just have to let it do its thing. All right, let's go to page 143. I don't know what's going on. It was working fine until we got to here. Okay, you ready now? 143. 143. All right. Heru Sekem is the Lord of the Uadjit, which means Lord of the two eyes, the power of the two eyes, the power of the two serpents, the caduceus. Are you familiar with the symbol of the medical industry? It's two snakes going around a pole, and it has wings at the top. That represents this. Uadjit and Nekabet, it represents Aset and Nebuchadnezzar around Asar, the soul, representing us. So when our physicality and our spirituality are balanced and harmonized, then the soul can move forward. Furthermore, are known as the two serpents that intertwine the central shaft and connect the Sephic Bara, the serpent power. These higher forms of Heru develop as an aspirant progresses on the path, and with these developments, aspirant gradually wields more power over life and more understanding of the higher self within. So that's good. They had a little bit about the Sephic Bara. The other reading I had was Pacific Bara. Let's see if it's page 107. Nope. Okay, well, that's lost forever. So we can do the little hekau for the Sephic Bara. Just put your hands over your chakras, starting with the root chakra, Sephiket, creativity, Tek, Ob Kapara, Second, Merik, Sephiket, Tek, Ob Kapara, Second Merik. Wait, it's like this. I'm going to choke myself. Second Merik. All right. You can find that on my Bandcamp channel, that little chant, if you want to use that for your meditations. Right. And so here is the reading about the sun disk, the great sun disk. Heru as the Uadjit is the great sun disk with the two serpents coming out of it, the form in which he defeated Set, in other words, the all-encompassing divinity. This aspect may be thought of also as a person whose mind has expanded such that it has moved beyond seeing him herself as an individual being and now sees the world altogether. The vision of separations, opposites, genders, etc. have subsided and have given way to the vision of oneself as embracing all that. In physical terms, it may also be thought of as what happens when a supernova explosion occurs. When that happens, a star expands to encompass all of the planets in a solar system. They, along with their differences in size, climate, colors, compositions, etc., are encompassed by the light, but they also burn up, dissolve into the essence of the singular luminary, like what I was describing before. And having discovered these aspects, Heru becomes the sitting king, and anyone who discovers their aspects and develops them within themselves becomes the sitting ruler, be they male or female. Awesome. Om Hatep. All right, so we got through all the readings. And now what we're going to have, I don't know if it's all going to fit on one page. So again, here's a situation where I do not have a page turner. So at some point, I'm going to pause and change the page. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I took some of the aspects of Uadjit from the ancient Egyptian online website about Uadjit and just put them in a list, and then I'm just going to offer them. And the reference you made about the tears will be addressed. Use this up. You know what I forgot though? I forgot the song for Ma'ati. Let me do that real quick. I was supposed to do this one earlier when I did the offerings to Aset and Nebuchadnezzar, and Ma'ati represents the dual goddesses. And the translation is Adorations to the dual goddesses of truth, of above and below, heaven and earth, assist us in attaining spiritual enlightenment. Om Mati Makeru. 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 Then I have another head out for Mati. And this one is super powerful because I just learned, well, in the next chant, we're going to learn that another name for the two sisters is Nebti. And this chant is Rekiti Murti, which is another reference to Goddess Aset. Nebji, I thought was for Nebuchadnezzar, but Nebji is for Aset and Nebuchadnezzar, Uadjit and Nekabet, and then Ma'ati is the same thing. So it's a super powerful chant. Uh-oh. How's it go? I think I put it out. Red TT. And I think it's the harp. Yeah, it's this one. There we go. Here's one. Retiti, Merti, Nepti, Mati, Rectiti, Merti, Nepti, Mati, Rectiti, Merti, Nepti, Mati, Rectiti, Merti, Nepti, Mati, Rectiti, Nepti, Merti, Mati, Rectiti, Merti, Nepti, Mati, Rectiti, Merti, Nepti, Mati, Merti. Nefer. Yeah, there's a little bit of discussion on the goddess Merti, because sometimes you just see M-E-R-T, and that could be Merit, but then you see M-E-R-T-I, which is Merti. So there's a little bit of, not sure which one is the goddess of music. I'm convinced that Merit is the goddess of music because Merti is another aspect of Aset. But we'll save that discussion for another day. So we're going to close out, like I said, with this summary of the article from ancientegyptonline.co.uk/Uadjit. And when I get midway, I'm going to pause and turn the page. Okay. So I wanted to try it with this harp. So it's not like a song or a chant. It's just a musical summary. Uadjit, Nekabet, Uadjit, Uadjit. Personification of lower Kemet, always appearing with her sister Nekabet, Nepti, the two ladies, Nepti, the two ladies, Uadjit, created the first papyrus plant and primordial swan. Do Uadjit, daughter of Atumra, who sent her as his eye to find root and shoe, moisture and air, when they were lost in the wateries of noon. Do Uadjit, do Uadjit, Ra created the first human beings from his tears to reward his daughter. He placed her upon his head in the form of the cobra, so that she would always be close to him and could act as his protector. This eye of Ra was often called the Uadjit. In this form of the eye, she was sent out to avenge her father and almost caused the destruction of mankind. Do Uadjit, do Uadjit, closely linked to the principle of my heart. When Gab went against my Uadjit was not prepared to allow him to go unpunished. She offers protection to all women during childbirth. Uadjit and her sister also protect Haru from the followers of sin. This protection was also extended towards the pharaoh who wore the royal rays on his or her forehead. Do Uadjit, worshipped at the temple of Uadjit, known as Peden. Uadjit, vulture goddess, Uadjit, cobra goddess, Uadjit. Nukpu Uadjit, Nukpu Uadjit, Nukpu Nukpu Buddha, do Uadjit, do Uadjit. Never. Never, never, never. All right. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. And for those of you who stayed to the end, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, this has been the Ancient African Adorations presentation of the Festival of Uadjit, according to the Neterian calendar of holy days. There's many calendars of these Egyptian festivals. I'm following the Kemetic version put out by the templeofamun.org if you want to order your, templeofamun.com if you'd like to get your own calendar. And we also have the calendar put out by the Earth Center. What's my link here? The earthcenter.org to get your Neterian Sirius calendar. The other one is more of a solar calendar. This is tuned in to Sirius from the Dogon. If you'd like more information on the wisdom teachings of Seba Ma, Dr. Wada Ashby, and his spiritual partner Seba Ja, visit EgyptianYoga.com. You can sign up for studying with them at Kemet University, which I highly recommend. If you'd like more information on musical offerings, visit Tachia.com. If you'd like more information on the wellness practices or products, go to lightbeingwellness.com. You can get your own pair of pinhole glasses. You can find my music on YouTube, Spotify, CD Baby, Amazon, your favorite music platform, and the ones that have not been released officially, you can find at tachia.bandcamp.com, where I have a lot of the Kemetic songs I need to go into the studio and have them mixed. The next offering of Ancient African Adorations is in May. It will be May 14th. I have not determined the time. That'll be, Jehuti. Oh, this is be a good one. Jehuti brings back Tefnut Sekhmet Hatcheru as lioness. You know, that's one of my favorite myths to put to music. Maybe I'll have some theatrics. And the next presentation from Asmatashi Temple, Light Being Wellness Center, will be for the third quarter moon. I don't have the date. Let's see if I can just pull it out, like pull a rabbit out of my hat. Yeah, first piece of paper on the pile. Wow, that doesn't happen very, very often. First thing I grabbed. All right. That will be April 23rd. That's just in a few days. That will be in the morning, early one, at around probably 6:30, because the third quarter moon is at 6:56. So we'll probably start at 6:30. And remember, on third quarter moons, we're offering global grieving, where it's a time to just let it out, complain, wail, just whatever is really heavy on our heart. We want to release it so our heart is light as a feather. So we'll be doing self-care, solfeggios, mostly on releasing the heart, emotions in the heart or feelings in the heart. Then we have another new moon in April, which they call the Black New Moon, but that's because there's not 2 moons in the month. It's because there's 13 months and they're only acknowledging 12. So every now and then there's 2 new moons in a month, 2 quarter moons in a month, 2 full moons in a month. And they make it into some big deal, but it's just an illusion anyway. And then on May Day, May 1st, will be the Spiral Dance Medicine Wheel Sunrise Ceremony. Oh, the new moon, April 30th, is at 3:28. So we'll probably be starting at around 3:15. And then May Day, Spiral Dance Medicine Wheel Sunrise Ceremony will be at sunrise. And May 17th is the next reggae music experience. This will be the mid-spring in May reggae music experience. Will be an outdoor concert featuring, reggae music, original reggae music from yours truly with my band. It's going to be outdoors. And this reggae is not like reggae from Jamaica. It's original reggae. It's native reggae. It's celestial reggae. It's cosmic reggae. It's world music. It's comedic devotion reggae. We have comedic dub and comedic rock. So it is not your normal reggae concert. And you'll be able to tune in live and also live stream. Get your tickets in advance. And the website is still being set up, but the link will be tachia.com/mid-spring-reggae. And I'll be posting about that very soon. And of course, if you're feeling moved to do so, you may always leave a donation at Met El Ma'at. Make sure I have it all. That's Cash App. And your donations will go towards the Asmataji Temple of Divine Light, Healing, and Sweet Sounds. And also to help make community sound healing available to people who, they won't come because they say they can't afford it. So I just offer it as an offering or a really discounted price. So your donations help make sound healing available to more people. I love the songs and your voice. I will definitely check out your music. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, there's lots of music and lots more to come. I'm just finally finished the Ma'at Anku Ma'at song. It's in the hands of the producer now. And then I've got 5 or 6 more Ma'at songs to clean him up, get him ready to send to him. So that'll be the mystical, magical, Ma'atical musical CD. It's coming out, I said, in the spring. And then the next one will be for the Comedic New Year, the Strength in July, starting with July 13th through the 21st. It has the birth of Ra, birth of Asar, birth of Haru, birth of Set, birth of Aset, birth of Nebuchadnezzar, and then the birth of the star Sirius. So we're going to have music for each one of those days. And ideally, that will be released before July 13th. So I'm like, got to get it together here. All right. So Dua, so much for your being here. Your presence is a gift to me. Dua Sebama, Dua Sebaja, Dua to all the Neteru, my ancestors, our ancestors, and Dua Uadjit. Uadjit, 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 and Buto. Hatep. And please share the replay with your friends and community.